Bonjour everyone. Bonjour Shweta. Bienvenue chez La for Education. Welcome to La for Education everyone. Today we have a doubt clearing session. So many doubts across all the levels, you can bring it on today. All the doubts related to various topics, difficulties you're facing so far will be discussed today. Bonjour Taruna, Jeet. And the best part of this session is not only you get to ask your doubts, but you get to understand and know doubts from across the levels from students who have been in various different levels and what are they facing. So that always helps out. So everyone, whatever doubts you have, difficulties you have, you may start um, yeah, you may start writing those in the chat and we can take it up one by one. We still have few students who are still joining in. Might take a while, but you can still write your doubts. Bonjour Jisleen, bonjour Dhani. Bonjour Pratibha. Well, if you have no doubts, I think our professors are doing something great so that everything has been solved in the class. But still, I think I can be a little help here. So, yeah, anything else you have in mind? Okay, we have two doubts. Suggestion of a book. And then we have how to memorize so many verbs conjugation, ma'am. Oh, good one. So, verb conjugations, okay, something that everyone gets overwhelmed because there are so many verbs. So, one of the idea that I utilize, okay, that I use is first five or six are your very verbs that you use a lot, okay, which are like your power verbs. For example, you have être and then avoir, faire, venir, aller. Okay, so these are the ones that you can kind of you can learn it by heart across all the tenses. Okay, so how you have learned tables in math, you have to learn these. Okay, Justine. So these five verbs at least, because these five verbs are most of the times, the main core of tenses that we learn. So first learn these five verbs, and then you can always categorize verbs across the groups. For example, already we have three categories, which is er, ir, re. Then we have pronominal, which are very common to conjugate together. Then there are very subcategories. For example, verbs, you can compile them together like dir, lir, those kind of verbs. So you can always like group them up and learn it. Like that's the only way to learn them. You have to find some similarity that works for you, and then you have to learn it. Some verbs are very easy to learn. For example, er ending verbs as in manger, acheter, parle. Okay, easy to learn. Écoute, dons, because the endings are similar. So always try to group them up and learn them. And to suggest a book for practice. Okay, so obviously, you have your textbooks, but that gets kind of repetitive after a while. So I can suggest like few reading books. For example, any novel that you like. For example, Harry Potter. Okay, so you might have already read that in English, before. So try that in French. Petit Prince, you can, the Petit Prince, La Petite Prince. You can read that as well. That's amazing. So we have Le Petit Prince, we have Harry Potter. Also, if you want to watch something, I just suggest always any familiar show. Try to switch language to French and watch it. That might help you as well, Taruna. But book, yeah, try to change the direction, not our regular, what we do in the class. Those kind of, obviously, there are more books available, which are related to your course, but then try fiction, try non fiction, self help books. So you'll have a change of direction. It will be fun to learn something new as well. Bonjour Shreya, bonjour Palak. How to improve French vocabulary? Okay, um, good question. So across all the levels, whether you are A1 or B2 student, obviously you need to work a lot more on vocabulary. The easiest way to do is to read more. There is no other way. Okay, there's no other way to kind of improve your vocabulary. You got to read more. Okay, try reading. For example, if you're a B1 student, so try reading the same content. For example, if you're um, talking about work, okay, so try reading the same content, the same topic on work on different levels. Okay, so like in the last session we have seen the changes in the similar, how it segregates according to level, one topic, how the vocabulary enhances. You can obviously go through it, and that will help you to build new vocabulary on the same topic. Because as you know that a book and an exam works on themes, right? So the same themes are enhanced after each level. So I would hardly suggest that, try reading a lot. Read whatever you can, like as we suggested, Le Petit Prince, or you can read Harry Potter, or you can read, there's so many. Alchemist is there in French. Rich Dad Poor Dad has a French version. If you like finance, anything and everything, just pick it up, start reading. You'll improve your vocabulary. Try to inculcate these little things that you already do. For example, if you use Instagram a lot, follow few Instagram pages. That's gonna help you out to build up vocabulary. If you use YouTube a lot, you can always subscribe on YouTube. If you read a lot, you can switch to some books, or the books you have already read the French versions for it. That will help you out. Any YouTube channels to learn French? Um, there are loads of YouTube channels to learn French. So what I will suggest is, don't go beyond your level. Like if you are a A1 A2 student, make sure you consume content of A1 A2. Otherwise, it might get a lot overwhelming. Um, So we have La Foray, of course. We have a lot of good videos here. Other than that, you can always search short films in French, and you get those, so you can watch that. Okay, it doesn't have any channel to it, but then there are loads of short films that are available. You can watch that. Then there is common ones are the fun one is like bitchy French, and then there is French school TV if you want to practice your vocabulary. Lots of courses. Try to follow native speakers and their courses as well, their channels, that will help you out. Pearl is saying, ma'am, can we have one whole session on tenses? Yes, probably after this, Pearl, we are going to practice tenses as well. We do have a few videos uploaded on tenses, so you can go through it for immediate help. But yeah, we are definitely planning more vocab grammar sessions. Yeah. Anyone? Also, if you have suggestions on what we can learn next, please drop it here. It could be tenses, it could be any grammar topic, um, anything and everything you want to learn. So please drop your suggestions here, so we can plan accordingly what our students want to learn. Okay, we have one more question. How to not get nervous while speaking French? Mhm. Such an interesting one. I need to think about it. Not get nervous. What I have realized is, like, when you kind of put yourself in that situation daily to speak French, the nervousness kind of diminishes after a while. Okay, but you have to put yourself on the spot. For example, in class, whenever you enter, like whether it's a live class or whether it's a physical class, you say bonjour. Do you get nervous while saying bonjour? No, right? It just comes automatically because you're saying that word for like a million times now. But when you have to ask your professor to kind of repeat what she said, or so you do not understand something, or maybe you have to leave the class early, but then you switch to English easily, right? Because you're never putting yourself on the pedestal to kind of speak French. So the more you speak, the less nervous you get. Like, that is my suggestion, because I too get nervous. After so many years, if you put me in front of like a camera or like an exam, I do get nervous. So that's there. But what I've realized is the words and the sentences we are comfortable with, the sentences that we use very often in French or in other language, we can never go wrong with that. So make sure you speak as much as you can, because that's the only thing. Even in exam, when they ask you questions, the only thing that will come out naturally is something that you have spoken a lot or read a lot or listened a lot. That's the only thing, you know because we do that in exam. We try to make notes and try to speak that out, but it doesn't come out naturally. The only thing that you have practiced over time, you have spoken. Yeah, so for your exam especially, try to kind of speak a lot. Try to speak, put yourself in the situation. If you are in a country where you can practice French with other people as well, please do that. Do not fear about speaking something wrong or grammatically incorrect. Doesn't matter, just speak. And but if you are in India and you have very limited people to kind of practice French with, make sure you practice it with your peers in your class. That's going to help you out a little. That will kind of fade or like diminish the nervousness that you have. Yeah. Combien de pratique nous a besoin pour obtenir le meilleur? There is no answer to it. How much practice to do is needed to obtain good results, better results? Like, what is, like, how much practice? You have to practice a lot. See, it's a language, so the more you learn, the more there's to learn. Okay, there is no end to it. Okay, so the more you learn, the more you'll get topics to learn, the more aware you would be about pronunciations, about using new vocabulary or better constructions. So yeah, so the more you practice, you kind of improve by level, and that's how you'll attain fluency. So after a while, Rishi, do not think of it as practice. Think of it, to kind of inculcate in your daily life. So if you want to learn French and not just clear one exam, it's always better to inculcate a language in your life. So for example, if you use Google Maps very often, switch it to French. After a while, you'll be used to it. You cannot make difference if it's a English version of it or a French version of it. It's just very simple. That helps out. Okay, so try to inculcate in your life. Once you think that, okay, I've done enough practice and it's getting repetitive, inculcate those things in your life. Some of my students, they switch their laptop settings to French or phone settings to French, the language, and that helps them out. You can try that. How to start correct pronunciation? Cons by reading, we don't know which are correct. Okay, such a nice question. How to start correct pronunciation? Because by reading, we don't know which are correct and which are not. Okay. So majorly your pronunciation gets corrected in the class one by a professor. Um, but if you are reading random document, also by listening, like one. So try to listen as much as you can, because that's how you'll inculcate little bit of native pronunciation, and people have that accent when they speak French. So the more you listen, the more you'll kind of like be little similar to native speakers. So one is that. Then there are you can always go on these little apps called like ChatGPT or like Reverso or word reference. You can put in the words and listen and practice and repeat. You can do that. That also helps out with pronunciations. So yeah, like these apps helps a lot. Okay, you can put your words and sentences, listen to it, speak. You have these things where you can speak and it gets typed. Try that. If your pronunciations are clear, it will get typed correctly. Do these. Make little games for you and like play according to all of the sources that are available. That will help you out with your pronunciations. Can we have a whole session on tenses? Yes, Taruna, we are definitely planning that. Now we have, please give tips on practicing sentence writing in different tense at the same time, validating our work through sources, reversal, or if there's any better source for checking our work. Okay. Sentence writing. Start with extremely basic sentences. Extremely basic when I mean, like, for example, I'm going to market. Okay. So when you want to practice something across tenses, the something will help you is, according to me, for example, I'm going to market. Your simple present, normal present tense. Okay. Then write the same sentence in past and in future. I went to market. I will go to market. Okay. Then compare these across. Start with one-liner, simple sentences, and not paragraphs. Okay. I'm having my lunch. I ate my lunch. I will eat my lunch. Then you want to complicate it a little. I'm having my lunch, and then you can add, I'm having this particular thing. I will eat my lunch in an hour. I had my lunch 2 hours back. And then you can write this. Now, this was your first answer, okay? How to practice something in different tenses. Start with one-liners. When you are fluent with one-liners, and it's easy for you, then you can switch to paragraphs. Okay, one exercise that I take up in my classes are I give them a topic. For example, you are on a beach. Okay, and then they have to write about the same topic in different tenses. So first, I am on the beach at the present, and then I was on the beach, and then I will go to a beach. So a small article about that. So you can do that as well. That is fun. You can check the vocabulary that changes, the construction that changes on the same topic. So you can start by that, Amanat, and to check your sources. Everything is good. Reverso is good. Gemini is good. WhatsApp Meta also works. Yeah, so basic tiny errors if each and every app will find. Yeah, so that won't be a problem checking. And you can always give a prompt to kind of highlight your mistakes and everything. So you can do that. How to practice prono relative. Do we need a session on these grammar topics, everyone? Prono relative, active voice. We have few grammar topics here. We can definitely like have a session on these grammar topics or like videos, and definitely, why not? We can do that. Practice prono relative, like everything you have to start constructing sentences. See, the idea is when you learn a grammar topic, you have to sit down and practice. Also, okay, for practicing, I have one more idea. We have this new thing on our website called LMS. Okay, you can go on it, and there it's just such it's so nice. I was explaining in my class yesterday. So according to levels, okay, it's divided. So for example, if you're A1 level student, you go on A1 level, tap on A1 level, and you can read all the grammar topics and basic vocabulary of A1 level for the ones who were asking me about vocabulary earlier. So it's for your level. The best part is, plus there are practice exercises on it, so you can do that. There you'll find Spinx edit or for prono-relative as well. Okay, so first there's a nice short explanation about the tense, or about if there's a vocabulary topic, a giant vocabulary page is given for which is in for your understanding. It's in different, like it's in French and English as well, so you can go through it, and then you can obviously do this little worksheet. Once you submit it, you'll get marks also. So it's a good thing to practice. If you get less marks, okay, I can always go back and like do this again. So definitely do that. That's going to help you out. So the ones who want to practice grammar topics or need kind of a refreshment, like a refresh course, just a revision, go on it. If you're a A2 level student, practice all the sheets for A1 level. If you're a B1 level, you can always practice the level that you have already done. So that's going to help you out. Plus it's self-evaluate. Amanat, like as you were asking, you can evaluate there and then. So you don't have to worry about these external sources for evaluation, because they are correct at times, but they might not be also. So then this is made by our professors. So something good. Try it out. Let me know your thoughts about it as well. Taruna is asking how to improve listening, because जैसे जैसे लेवल बढ़ रहा है, हार्ड होती जा रही समझ. Okay, yeah. So listening is supposed to get hard by each level. That's the reason, we switch levels. The vocabulary gets hard. There are a lot of replacement of verbs that are used. For example, e and o. Okay, so they replace it. So when you listen, you might not understand it in one go. All you got to do is listen it a lot. I know you might sound कि कैसा vague सा answer है कि ज़्यादा सुनो. No, but that's the only thing. Okay, so first you listen it. Okay, once, twice. Try if you can solve that exercise. If not, listen it 10 times. If still you're not able to understand, open transcript, listen simultaneously. That works best. Okay, so if you are a B1 student, go back to A1, A2 book and open transcripts, listen simultaneously, see if you understand it. Honestly, in terms of listening and in terms of your examination, not necessarily you have to understand the entire audio. If you're able to answer the questions, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much okay. That's what you're supposed to do. But if you are if you're not able to kind of understand and answer the questions, okay, then you definitely should go on one level back and listen the audio and the transcript simultaneously. Read the transcript, listen to the audio. That will help you. Mark the difficult words, go on word reference, check their meanings, write those. You have to make that effort to improve listening. There's no other way. Any French movies to watch for beginners level? Yeah, loads of them. Go on Netflix if you have that and just type in movies in French. You'll have like and not necessarily French movies, there are a lot of European movies. So if you're a romantic person, if you like watching romance, Netflix has so much content for it. On top of my head, I don't have any movies. Loads of European movies about summer, about vacation and beaches. And if you're not, I've watched this. I'm watching currently something called Family Business on Netflix. It's about a family who does a weird business. So you can watch that. It's fun. And then there's something about an agent. I've watched it way back. Call My Agent, I guess. But it has a French name to it. I forgot. It's a good cast. It's about marketing agent or these agent of celebrities or something. So that's also fun series to watch. I suggest. Oh, we watched Lupin. Lupin is amazing. Please watch it. It's about crime and thriller and a little bit of action and all of that. Watch Lupin. So I've suggested three. Okay, I've suggested three series for you. Just lean. One is Family Business. One is Lupin, Lupin, and one is this agent. It is called My Agent or something on the similar note. Something to do with agent. Those are three nice series. I suggest series because if you watch movies, you're done after like an hour or two. European films are short; they're not as long as our Bollywood films. So I suggest series because then you're hooked up. So you can make a habit of watching like one episode in a day, or like if it's too much for you, one episode in a week. So you'll have like a discipline to it. So you learn plus you watch something new. How do I know when to use E and O? Okay, prono E and prono O. They both have like completely they both have like completely different usages. How to use them when? So it just depends on what they are replacing. Okay, the replacement is different. Wait, I can just show you the entire slide. I have a slide on it. Very good prono E and O slide. Let me check. Let me see if I can connect. I'll just show you the entire prono slide. Ma'am, is there any Bollywood movie dubbed in French? What I usually do is I do not Google up Jasleen, if there's a Bollywood movie dubbed. What I do is I just go on Netflix, and sometimes you play Bollywood movies and they have an option to kind of switch the language. I do that. So, yeah, I've never particularly watched any Bollywood movie in French, but they might have. Can you please tell me from where to find LMS you're talking about? Okay, so LMS is the La Foret's website, which is frenchclass.in. You go on the website, and if you cannot find that website, just put La Foret. The website will come up automatically. Frenchclass.in. As soon as you log in, there will be a picture of a very nice lady, and just after that, which is our director, and just after that, beside it, you'll just see a LMS option. There are 6-7 options um, on the taskbar kind of thing, idhar, upar, and there you'll find LMS written. And if you still you're not able to find it, please let us know. Let us know the admin team. They'll help you out. Okay. I lost the track of questions that I was answering. Is there any Bollywood movie dubbed in French? Yes, Justine, I answered that. Just go on Netflix, see if anyone has anything dubbed. Your favorite films, look it up. I've never watched, honestly, Bollywood movies in French. Try animated. That will help you out. You know, animated will be little better. For example, watch uh, Madagascar. Watch Hotel Transylvania. Watch Boss Baby. Yeah, those are way fun to watch in French rather than watching Bollywood in French. So if you like animation, so watch these films. They're super fun. Okay, there was a question on prono. Yeah, how to when to use prono e and o. Yes. So I cannot connect the slide for you. So let me just give you a very overall idea. Jipleen. Okay, so prono o is used when the sense is first it replaces the name of a place. Okay, first thing, prono o replaces name of a place. Second thing, it gives the sense of coming out of or from there. Coming out of or from there gives the sense of that. It replaces preposition the, de, the. For example, if I say il vient de Paris, okay, he's coming from Paris, il vient de Paris. So I'll say il en vient, he's coming from there, okay. We can have a separate session, but I just want to answer your question. So rather than saying he's coming from Paris, I'll say he's coming from there, il en vient. Okay, for example, the children are coming from the school. So l'enfant vient de l'école. The children are coming from the schools. The children are coming from there. L'enfant en vient. Okay, so it replaces a name of a place. It gives a sense of coming out of or from there. This is your pronoun en. There are multiple usages. This is one of the basic ones. Okay, the multiple usages of pronoun en. It's also used in pronoun the quantity. Okay, pronoun of quantity is used for that as well. Then there are few idioms or few short phrases. For example, parle de, avoir besoin de. That also takes a pronoun en. So there are multiple usage, but this is the basic one. Okay, and then there's pronoun e. We have loads of queries here. But everyone, okay, before we go ahead, let's just learn pronoun en and e. Okay. Did you find the LMS? I think someone was asking about LMS. Okay, and on contrast, pronoun e gives a sense of to there. Okay, so that's the major difference between the true pronouns. Pronoun e also replaces names of places, but there's a long list of prepositions that has to be followed. So to get replaced by pronoun e. So like it's don and and all of that. So when there is like or don followed by name of a place, pronoun e replaces it. And then there's like loads more to it. Loads more. But the major sense changes. So coming from or coming out of. That's the major difference between those two pronouns. Okay, we got too technical. Let's move ahead. Obviously we can have a separate session on that as well. How to speak like a native speaker. Everyone's figuring it out. First, learn to form sentences, learn to speak up sentences without getting nervous and fluency. And then, when you are very, how do I say, very comfortable with speaking French, very comfortable with making sentences on the spot, speaking across various topics, then you can definitely work on your pronunciations. But I would still say that native speaking is it's a very vast concept because French kind of changes from regions to regions. Okay, so Parisian speaks very different French. Canadian French is different, speaking wise, and then even across France, same in India. In India, when you travel from one state to another, how the language changes. So there, though the language is same, but some idioms changes, way of speaking changes. They have their own slang. So depends on like what are you targeting in terms of native speaking as well. But yeah. So first, if you're very comfortable with the language, then definitely you can learn the pronunciation. Okay. How do I know when to use la or sa if I want that? If I want to use that in a sentence. I didn't get your question, Kirti. Bonjour, Kavita. Okay, Jeet is asking how to self-evaluate about my French. Like when you're speaking French, how to evaluate yourself. The best thing you can do is if you're not in a class or a session where you can communicate with your peers, or if you are just speaking on your own, record yourself. Okay, you don't have to send it to anyone. Just put on a camera, record yourself speaking about a certain topic, and then play it again. you'll yourself will find mistakes. You'll yourself will know, okay, I missed articles, or I missed prepositions somewhere. So yeah, that's the best way to like put on a camera and just record yourself talking about a certain topic. You know what words you're comfortable with, you know what words you have pronounced wrong. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like put on a camera, speak, and yeah, record yourself saying it. So I've noted down few grammar topics that you want session on. One is prono o and prono e. I might have kind of did I interchange them because yeah, you just caught me very off guard with grammar topics. So one is that one are definitely tenses. Then one was prono relative. So we have few doubts there. So all of these topics we'll definitely make sure either we take up a different session or we can like make a descriptive videos on it. So it can be explained in a better way, not like randomly. Yeah, with proper examples and everything. We'll make sure. Okay. Lesotre doubts anyone with any other difficulty, any other suggestions regarding our grammar topics rather than pronos and relative and tenses. This is something we have noted. We'll definitely make sure you get this content. Okay, I assume we do not have any more doubts. So, if we don't, so should we wrap up the session, everyone? If you do not have any more doubts, please let me know in the chat. So, we can end today's session here with a few grammar topics we need to work on. We definitely have suggestions on which movies to watch and series and books. So, yeah, we definitely got that out of this session. And yeah, anyone with any more doubts, difficulties, suggestions? Okay, so that's pretty much it for today's session then. Everyone, see you in the next session. Probably we'll keep the next session on any grammar topic. And yeah, au revoir. Bye bye, everyone. See you in the next live. Thank you so much for joining in.